Hey guys, Muffman2Z's here. This is the third time I've tried to record this. The first time, I just misspoke. The second time, I didn't realize I stopped recording. So now this is the third time. It's 5:11 a.m. This will be a retrospective and analytical look at the new Overwatch animated short, Reign of Talon, Vendetta versus Doomfist. Let us begin.
Clearly, you have gathered us all here for a reason. I have more pressing matters to attend to. Get to the point.
So first off, with this first line, Doom kind of comes across as this cocky, arrogant, prideful man, in which every right he is, right? To quote someone else's words, he's described as the Thanos of the Overwatch verse. Like he's this big bad guy who can level skyscrapers. He's like skyscraper level, right? He has an enormous power, right? He's crazy. Like he's this big bad. And in this scene, he comes off as cocky and arrogant, which is nothing new for his character, although it's later down the line, to which I will explain later as to why I think he lost. But anyway, again, he kind of comes off as arrogant here, and he's become a little bit too complacent, I should say.
Should have put a stop to Vendetta a long time ago. She's a threat.
I've been tracking her for years. She's gone from nothing to this.
Now, I guess this is Overwatch's way of trying to kind of give us Vendetta accolades. Let's look at some of these. In the far right here, just a picture of her. Okay. We have her and some Deadlock goons, Deadlock gang goons. Okay. So we have here her and her father. Okay, okay. Her making a deal with Domina. Okay, so that's something. Her just being angry. Okay, and her with some like other stalkers from like the story missions, I guess. So what are her real accolades here? Made a deal with Domina. I guess like made an alliance with Deadlock gang, or at least the goons. I don't know. She's angry. Like I don't know. I feel like this picture with her and her father is irrelevant. This picture is irrelevant. This picture is irrelevant, and this top left picture is also relevant in my opinion. I don't really know what this top left one is, so but I mean, there's only two, and it's these two that are relevant. Other than that, I think this is Overwatch way of like trying to say, oh, here's Vendetta's accolades. Here's what she's done in these 10 years, and it's really like it. It doesn't really explain things. But let's continue.
She's building up to something, and if we don't rein her in, she's going to.
Ah, good. You've saved me the trouble. You're all here.
Oh, my.
At least we can confirm she is soldier level. But another unspoken accolade in the footage I didn't record, and I was just being a schizophrenic talking to myself. I did pull up Vendetta's other unnamed accolade. It's where she fights the giant robot in the Coliseum. So I guess that robot's like building level, maybe. I don't think it's skyscraper level, but maybe it's like building level. I don't really know what kind of feat you'd put that robot at, but I don't. I guess that's another way of like them trying to give Vendetta accolades and say like, oh yeah, she's comparable to Doomfist. Sure.
Artia, what an unexpected pleasure. You're not welcome here, Vendetta.
Not welcome. I've earned my right to be here. Paid for in blood. But what have you done? Lurked in the
She brings up a good point. Other than they formed an alliance with Null Sector and did a whole lot of nothing burgerness. Like it was just nothing burger. Like they captured some citizens and that was it. Didn't really like do too much. Like they attacked some places. Null Sector did, sure, but it's like they failed. So I just kind of hate how they threw away the Null Sector plot line. Also because I spent money on those missions, the story ones, the ones that we were promised after so long. But the past is the past, I suppose. Anyhow, it's just like I just don't like how they destroyed and threw away that plot line. And just to add on to that, Ramatra's such a great character. It's just like they need to like actually give Ramatra like good lore accolades and good lore feats in this like new story they have. I'll talk about that later, but they just like they can't keep wasting them, you know.
Shadows carved up my father's empire. Cast me aside. I want what I am owed.
Old. Child, you mistake your successes for succession. It is time you learn the difference.
So here we see Doomfist say, "Oh, you know, you're trolling, little bro. You're actually trolling. You're LARPing, buddy. You're a LARPer. You don't like. You're trying to LARP as like the Queen of Talon. That I'm the king, buddy. All right. Ain't no other person around here that's in charge except me, little bro. You're a LARPer to the name." So pretty much we see Doomfist kind of again kind of had this. He kind of exudes this cocky, arrogant behavior. Again, it's not new for his character, but I think it'll kind of explain things down the line, a few seconds, like a minute or so, you know, after this scene. So let's continue. Easily dodges that. Dodges. Whiffs his primary, or rather she just blocks. Kicks.
Predictable.
And now, so we see she uses her, I would assume, like full force here to swing her blade, and he catches it. Doesn't break through the gauntlet one bit. One bit. Easily catches it, easily dodges. Predictable, easy.
Pathetic.
Can skip
It
fast.
takes rare arrogance to challenge me.
So then he says it takes rare arrogance to challenge me. And I'm going to mention something a little bit later in this video that's going to really kind of put together like why certain things are going to happen very soon in the story. So, but again, quite cocky, and it almost seems like he's being painted as complacent here. Like Doomfist has been like painted as this complacent leader now, who just, you know, who's lost his edge, so to speak. I don't think so, but
My family gave everything to Talon.
now another thing here. Never mind. Let me wait.
And like a coward, you buried our legacy.
Now people argue that oh he couldn't see her because it's a dark enclosed room and it's foggy. I'd like to debunk this. Let's take a look here, right? For one, we have his POV where he can see perfectly fine the screen.
My family gave everything.
And now we see here, it's not really that dark where he is, only in these areas right here, like back here, right? Where it's more so dark. But for the most part, everything from where Doomfist is to the right is lit up, as far as I'm concerned. So people say, oh, it was foggy. You know, he couldn't see her. There's a pretty light fog here. I'm pretty sure you could see anyone through this. Like, if I stood right there, he'd be able to see me. Like, I don't think that's why. Number two, it was dark. Again, from what I'm seeing here, anything from this monitor right here to the right is lit up. Everything to the left is dark. So, again, I think what Vendetta does is goes into the dark and silently skulks up the pillar and then drops down and sneaks him. I guess that's what happens. But another another point of contention is that people say he 3v1'd Genji Tracer Winston, a genetically modified gorilla, a cyber ninja, and a lady who can control her own time and her position. Like, she teleports, right? And he like tracked Tracer with his battle IQ, and I guess you could say predicted, or rather knew where she was going to be at one point and caught her off guard. And now another point is people say, oh well, it's an enclosed room that Doom's in, rather than, you know, open broad daylight when he fought Genji Tracer Winston. But again, to the point, it looks well lit from here to here, and sure, I guess it's enclosed with all these pillars, so I guess you could make that point. I wouldn't really argue it too much. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like he should have a little bit higher battle IQ here. Anyways, let's continue. Like, he even like sees her foot. I guess he does it though, like he just hears her running.
And like a coward, you buried our legacy.
Now, my big issue, not the biggest issue, but a big issue for me, is that right here, she ignites her sword and goes, "Meow," and he just doesn't look. Like, he's not deaf. He can hear perfectly fine. So why doesn't he just turn around? Like, do we not? Hello? Like, like he goes, "Meow," right? It's like you would hear that, and he doesn't turn around. So that's an issue for me. It's like, how do you not hear that? Unless it's the quietest ignite sound ever. Like, I don't know. Sneaks him.
I'm here to take.
Now, actually, she could have just ended it right here. I don't know why she didn't. I think they just kind of drew it out, but I mean, she easily could have ended it right there. I don't.
Get back.
You deserve nothing. Power is not passed down. It must be seized.
I agree. Dude, I don't know what it is about this like specific line. I just find it so corny, right? I can be quite corny myself. Don't get me wrong, but this just I don't know. Something about her facial movement and certain I agree. It just doesn't. It's like okay, bro. Like whatever, man. Sure.
And you are in my way.
You guys want to actually see the little impact frame here? We can. So again, slash. Cool little impact frame here. Very cool. Nice little animation. And now another big point of contention for everyone who loves Doomfist and just a majority of the fan base in general, I think, is that how can she cut through his gauntlet? He just held it earlier. He caught it and held it. No dents, no scratches, nothing. Like we don't see anything on his gauntlet that indicates that it damaged it. But we see she cut through the upper part here. So it means she had to have aimed for the upper part or just got lucky swinging, I guess. But I mean, if we're gonna go by logic here, right? You're like the thickest skin on the human body is on your palms and on the bottoms of your feet. I don't know what you would call the bottom of your feet. I forgot the term. But your palms and the bottom of your feet. So it does make sense he catches it, but she slices his gauntlet kind of at the upper arm here, right below the shoulder. I guess you could call that like I don't know, like kind of the not the bicep or tricep because it's not like I don't know if it's directly on the bicep or tricep if it's like mechanical arm here, but it cuts right near the shoulder, right? Shoulder plate right here, and it cuts a little bit below that right here. So she cut his upper arm below his shoulder at least, and cut through the material. That's a big plot point. Like, how does Vendetta do that when he just caught it earlier? And I guess my counterpoint to that is again he caught it with the palm of his gauntlet, which again you have the thickest skin on your palm and the bottom of your feet as a human being. So I guess plot wise it would make sense, but cutting his gauntlet at the upper arm there does make sense because it's weaker, I suppose. Which I guess you could say. I'm not a what's the word, biologist by any means. Not biologist. I'm not into anatomy. Okay, I'm not into human anatomy, right? I don't know the word for the people who like study that. Scientist, biologist, I don't know. Anyhow, I'm not into human anatomy, but it just I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. Which I mean, I guess it could make sense since it's not his palm. But anyhow, people are just outraged and frustrated that how does she cut through his gauntlet when earlier she failed? And it could have also been that because he was weakened from his scar on his back and the scar on his Achilles heel, I believe, or rather his calf, one of the two. He could have been weakened, so his punch didn't do full damage, which I don't think that's the reason. I'm just kind of bringing it up just in case, but I don't think that was the reason at all. I don't know.
You disappoint me. So close to your vengeance. And now, you hesitate. It makes you weak.
I want to remember this moment. Talon may have stolen my past,
And then he says, you know, you're so close to your revenge, it makes you weak. You know,
but
typical
I
villain talk.
am its future.
Typical
A
Doomfist talk.
shame you won't be around to enjoy what comes next.
Then he lashes out. Now, this scene right here confuses me. Let's rewind just a bit. So again, we see him get booted out this window with glass shards around him, all around him. And we don't even see his arm or like his leg, his shoe. This is also a big plot point for me. If you saw him get booted out this window and you walk over, I think it's just made for the camera view just to see that, oh, he's not even there anymore. Like he's down there. But I would think we could at least see his like arm, his other arm, or his shoe, right? We could vaguely see him, but in the shot we don't at all, assuming that he's already fell into this black abyss and he's no longer visible. Now again, his little last stand there was quite coordinated, so it does make sense for her to throw him out the window. But I mean, I would think that we could see him here, but we don't. So I don't know. I just feel like that doesn't make too much sense. But at the same time, I can see it making sense because you know he gets launched off, and by the time the camera pans down there, she might have saw him, but you know the camera us we didn't. But assuming we're in her POV, we should have seen him. Anyway,
No more mistakes. No more weakness. I will lead us out of the shadows to seize what should have always been ours.
now she goes on the monologue, blah blah blah. Too much yap. Okay, so one thing that I've been told, and I'll never forget it, it's quite a cool saying. It's in a battle of egos, the loser is always the victor. And in this case in point, I think we're made to see that Doomfist is quite competent, complacent. Not competent, he's more so complacent. And that he's grown a little bit too comfortable in this leader spot of his, right? You know, he holds most of the majority of talent, while the others have their parts of it. And he's kind of getting that, you know, pride comes before the fall moment, where he now falls literally. And of course, it pays homage to how Vendetta's father passed, getting shot by Reaper's shotgun and falling through the glass window behind him. Cool little homage there, I suppose. But in the end, I mean, we know Doomfist is coming back. We never see his body. Even a dev confirmed it in a interview with Zebra. He said we didn't see a body, so you know. And even Aaron Keller, he said Doomfist has been defeated, not he has been killed. So we're gonna see Doom come back, but he definitely will get his get back again in a battle of egos. The loser is always the victor. Now, how do I feel about this? I think they could have gone about it way better. I think letting Vindicta, I've played too much Deadlock, dude. I'm sorry. Vendetta, excuse me. Letting Vendetta kind of, you know, sneak him and somehow cut through his arm at the upper portion now. I think it's a little bit kind of iffy and kind of plot holish. A lot of people have been calling Vendetta Mary Sue, another Overwatch OC over original character like Kiriko. You know, what are her accolades? And to be fair, I think it tries to cover her quote unquote accolades with the scene of Sombra showing what she's done over 10 years, which I don't really think it measures up to Doomfist, but you know, whatever I think is, you know, disregardable here in this situation. Is that even a word? Anyhow, I think they could have done better. I think instead of this, they could have done a homage to Doomfist's original 3v1. They could have had Vendetta and like two other people like fight him and kind of like pay homage to Doomfist 3v1, and it ends with Doomfist losing as he did in the 3v1. I think that would have been cool. I mean, people could have called, oh, it's recycled. You're just copying what you did with him 10 years ago, whatever. True, but I think it'd be cool homage to have. You know, pay homage to the original Doom animation everyone loves and adores. But yeah, I think some of the claims that, oh, it's a dark and foggy room are just lies. The dark part is a little bit true, I'd say. It is more so true rather than the foggy part. I think there's some plot holes as well with how Doom just gets defeated here. I think they could have done better. Um, as for when they'll bring him back, I mean, maybe we'll get a teaser of him in like mid-season for the lore, like they'll show his redesign, like they'll show a sneak peek of his redesigned gauntlets, and then rumors will start flying around between Talon and Overwatch, be like, oh, there's been sightings of this powerful guy with a fist in Egypt or something. I don't know, you know and Vendetta will go there and then she loses or whatever. But Doomfist is going to come back. It's blatantly clear, even without getting it confirmed by the devs. Like I could already tell you, even without watching the live stream and only watching this, Doom would be coming back. Like he's going to. Again, in the battle of egos, the loser is always the victor, so he's easily coming back. He's easily going to win. He's only lost the battle. He's going to win the war for sure. So overall, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if I missed anything. Again, I'm not the most educated person when it comes to the comic lore of Overwatch. I have read quite a few, although I haven't really read all of them, and I just haven't really kept up with them that much. So if I'm forgetting anything, let me know. But again, there's just been this big community outcry that I wanted to analyze this fight personally and give my thoughts on it as to why he lost. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Again, let me know in the comments what you think about this kind of analytical video. Do you want to see more of these on more Overwatch fights or other fights in general, gaming related? I'd love to cover them. Just let me know in the comments. I'd gladly do it. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. Doomfist will be coming back. Trust me. Hope you guys appreciate it. Well, from me, 2Z's is out.